better subscribe to Pine Tree Line Outdoors, and here's why. Have a look. It's been an incredible time. Aubrey Falls. Why are we here? What is this abomination behind us? Okay.
Good evening, and welcome to the Heikadelic Show. We would like to take this moment to let you know that viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. So sit back, have yourself a nice cool drink or hot drink, and enjoy the show. And welcome once again to the Heikadelic Show.
And there we are. Good evening, boys.
Good evening.
How's it going, guys?
Happy Monday.
Great. Yeah, another happy Monday night. Awesome. Wow, everyone looks really good today. What's going on?
It's Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's nice weather.
Did you guys?
Kilkenny.
It's the Kilkenny that's helping you.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's get that started off to the right foot right away. Let's have a toast with all our fans.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. I don't know what it is, but I've been getting a lot of head lately. So
What's that?
I've been getting a lot of head lately. So I'm not.
Oh,
sure.
really? Wow.
I mean, for my beer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's warm. Yeah.
It's ice cold.
Just be careful. And we just figured out a technical issue here. I tried to give Keisha, who's in the room with me here, my headphones to listen to this, but it didn't work. So she's actually listening through Indie Rock Radio right now.
Oh.
Yeah. So here's to you guys at Indie Rock Radio, making shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil sent me a note that that ad I threw up for Sousa Group is coming in a little hot. So I'll have to dial that down. But
Yeah, it was a little hot, a little high.
But the Sousa Group is on Facebook. You can look them up. It's SOUSA, and they are an awesome organization. They do a lot to help out charities like Ronald McDonald House and families in need, and they do that through music, entertainment. There's a bowling alley that I need to learn more about, but they do a lot of cool events, and on New Year's Eve they hosted an event which was truly awesome. I mean, we're all limited.
Yeah, you were telling us about that, right?
That was great because Ed Sousa and his team are linked with pretty much every band that had been hot in Canada, and and is still a lot of performing acts out there, and it was amazing. I mean, I was on this stream with Darby Mills from the Headpins, and just a number of great Canadian artists, the Spoons, I could go on and on, but it was a lot of fun. And so we get really good at these online events and it's all obviously everybody's doing it in different sort of locations, and there's really most, it's not social distancing isn't an issue because we're on Zoom, but really cool. It's you can have your own sort of party at your home or wherever you happen to be. So this next one is a toga party in June.
Right.
It's, I think like $10 to log into it. But again, proceeds go to Ronald McDonald House, I believe, on that one. And yeah, so I'll try and get that audio under control, and we'll get you to we'll get that spinning again. But check out their
cool.
page. It's Sousa Group. It's Sousa Group. It's SOUSA Group on Facebook. And Ed will be coming on in a little bit to talk more about his team and the good things that Sousa Group does.
Nice.
So, yeah, expect to hear more on that.
Yeah, I'll have some questions for him because I like toga parties. I've been to quite a few, but I just don't know how that's going to work virtually. You know what I mean? It's just not going to be the same.
Well,
now, for somebody who's never been to a toga party besides a sheet, what is there? Or is that something I should wait for Ed?
Yeah, well, it's a party. Everyone wears a bed sheet, and depending the group you're with and where you are and how drunk people get, different things can happen.
Well, I think, yeah,
It's anywhere.
I think it's more elaborate than that, but yeah, that's the gist of it. It just kind of hailed from Roman times and some of the crazy parties that they would have, and I think a lot of colleges and universities got into that. And, yeah, done it a few times, and it's a lot of fun. But I think to your point, though, I mean, with the limitations, lockdowns, and all that, you do what you can do. And I found at the beginning of this lockdown, well, of course, Heiko, you and I were doing remote shows. It's audio version, right, to kind of keep things moving, and where others were doing really nothing. But what we would do is on let's say a Saturday night, within our circle, we would set up the basement area almost like a little pub. So we had these little 2-person tables, and and we would do karaoke and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. You sort of, I guess after a couple of drinks, forget where you are anyway. So it broke some of the boredom. And Derek, I know you've been able to be doing some socially distanced rehearsing at some point, and
we started yesterday.
Yeah, nice, good for you.
It'll work out well.
It did. I've got like a cottage, so there's lots of room. It's 10 feet apart for everybody.
Oh, cool!
You have
excellent.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Lots of people don't get to do anything at all, so I try and do as much as I can.
Absolutely. Well, and the nice weather's coming now too. I think we're going to be able to do some things outside. Still, as long as the rules aren't too tight and people still abide by what's going on, we should be okay, right?
I hope so.
And if everybody gets their shot, it might help out too, right? We hope. We all hope. Nobody really knows yet, but we will find out.
Yeah.
Well, with all the variants, you never know, right? The shot that we're getting now just might not cut it for variant number 29,000, right?
Yeah. And again, what people have to remember, the shot is only helping the person that got the shot.
Right.
So
it just makes you like you'll still get sick, you just won't die.
Yeah. So a lot of people still get the idea, oh, I got the shot, so I'm safe. But no, you could still be carrying this and give it to a lot of other people. So right.
No, that's totally true. I agree.
Yep.
But it was nice to practice again.
That's been a long time, hasn't it?
Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Get the amps cranked up and just give her, right?
Yeah. Didn't wear the earplugs or nothing. Just let tinnitus kick in. Nothing like having a little bit of ringing in your ears for a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's it's like anything. You can equate it to sex. It's fine by yourself, but it's way better with other people.
Oh yeah. The only band that ever did that to me was Volbeat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were probably the loudest band I've ever heard play.
Right.
Like you could actually feel the clothes moving on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
Big Sugar was one of the loudest bands I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For smaller, not smaller, but it's like not super bands.
Yeah.
And I think Metallica at Molson Park was probably the most that I felt it, like the bass and everything, with the way the amphitheater type hill was.
Mm-hmm.
You just sat there and you could feel it pounding through you.
Yeah. And for screaming guitars, I think the loudest was Generation Axe. You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Went to see
That's
them
a whole
play.
tour, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw them in, believe it or not, in Massey Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And that's a great old building, man. I hope that building stays
That would have
around
been
for
back
a
in
long
the
time.
80s.
No, it was early 2000s.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. That was very cool.
Nice.
So the
I'm trying to
topic,
think Massey
What's
Hall.
that?
I can't remember who I've seen there.
Oh yeah, that's been a great place. I've seen a couple of bands play there. And that's the thing. The sound in there is incredible.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you sit. It's just the shape of the building. I guess it's just a great venue.
Yeah.
I knew this lady once who actually sang.
Nantucket?
Yeah, something like that. Came to sang at Massey Hall, so that's pretty neat. I mean, I to like the acoustics in there are awesome, right? Like I remember going. I've been to the Grand Ole Opry a couple of times and got an opportunity to. Of course, we were there and nobody was there, so I hop up on the stage and I start doing this a cappella thing, and it got its first taste of really heavy rock, but it was a lot of fun, and it, I could just imagine playing that to a full house, having the voice of an angel, it would have been very full. So
that must have been special there, eh?
I think isn't Massey Hall like a historic building? I think it's protected, isn't it?
I hope it is.
It is.
I really do.
I think
it's not going anywhere. No.
Yeah. I remember like the seating was never very comfortable. It wasn't exactly the most comfortable of seats in there.
Yeah.
No, I imagine those seats. I don't know how long that building's been there, but those seats are old, man. They've seen a lot of asses.
Yeah,
a lot of DNA in those seats.
Yeah,
that's right.
Big ones, bony ones, you name it. They've been on those seats, man. So yeah, those seats are tired.
I want this to back. I'm not getting up to go for free.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know the balcony, like the third tier, like you're almost like 40.
Yeah, you're looking right down on them. Like you think you could almost hit them with a rock or something.
Yeah, it's a great old hall.
Dome is the worst. I remember I saw Ozzy there and Black Sabbath, and I hate it there. The sound, it's teeny.
Yeah.
The Sky Dome. Well,
Sky Dome. Yeah.
Well, it also it gets trapped in a lot of the corners.
Yeah.
So if you're not sitting down on the floor or in the regular seating, the sound sucks in that building. It's terrible.
No, they put those big black curtains up, didn't they?
To dampen it.
They only do so much, right?
Yeah. I was there for the very first ever artist to perform there. It was, I think they opened on the Saturday, the 20-something of June, and the following Thursday, Rod Stewart was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the very first artist to play there.
Oh, wow.
And me and Liz went, like, Liz likes Rod Stewart, right? So, he's really interactive with the crowd. And he said, like, played 2-3 tunes, and he's like, "How are you doing out there?" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, what it sound like out there? It's like, yeah. So anyway, he plays another song or two. He goes, "How's it sounding now?" And everyone's like, yeah. And he plays another song, right? And then he goes, "How's everyone doing again?" He's like, yeah. He said, "How's it sounding out there?" And everyone's like, yeah. He goes, "It sounds like fucking shit to me up here."
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It was really mad, yeah. That was before they put the big black curtains. It was just...
Yeah, well, I guess they never thought of all that
So
stuff,
that
right?
happened, yeah, till the first concert, right? And then,
Yeah.
yeah, poor, yeah, he wasn't a happy camper, but
No.
So Rod Stewart was the first one to play in the Sky Dome.
yeah, it was a Thursday after it opened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Technically, I think at the opening ceremony, as I recall, they had like the parachute guy comes down and they had a number of like acts. But the first band, but Glass Tiger actually played at the opening
Newmarket.
ceremony. Yeah, they played there. Yeah, they were. So technically, they're the first band, but I don't went on all night though. It was just like whatever,
Geez, you're just full of trivia, aren't you, buddy?
Well, I used to work down there. I used to, so
That was his thing. Yeah.
it's
awesome.
a soundtrack of my life for many
bet.
years. I remember like the food and beverage director from the tower took me like the week before it got officially opened, and we actually stood at home plate, and there's like trucks and that still, they're still doing all the finishing touches, and
right.
standing at home plate, and that was the first time I actually saw the inside of it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and no cameras in those days, so we just had to keep it all up here.
Yeah.
But I was down there a lot. I even played in there. I actually did DJ gigs in there.
I guess if you're up in the CN Tower, when it's open, you can look inside the building.
Yeah, it's way down. Yeah, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a rep from Molson Canadian, John, that I got to know, and he got married and had his wedding reception on a Saturday night in one of the bars. There was no game, obviously. They were, on the road, and it was just wild because I was set up wherever it was. There's a bar there, all the seats, and while they were eating, like when they broke for food at whatever time, I just remember just going down and sitting in the seats.
Oh yeah,
and it was just great. It's just like
a big empty stadium.
Just me sat there in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
To me, it's always Sky Dome. It's never Rogers Centre, wherever.
Yeah.
No, it's a Sky Dome.
The condom.
Yeah.
The big
rubber
turtle
band around it.
Yeah. And I watched it being built. That was the other thing. I saw it being built.
Yeah. I remember the first time it got stuck. I was down at Harbourfront, and they opened it, and it got stuck open, and it was open for like a month or something.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it took like 15 minutes to open, or 18 minutes to actually open.
The whole way.
To actually open was 18 minutes, so you have to know in advance when to do it. Right.
And if it starts raining, you're getting wet for 18 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah.
I actually work for the company that opens that, does all the automation that opens that dome.
Oh, really? All right.
Really? That's cool.
So I remember it well, and I was there for the, parts of the construction anyway.
Yeah.
But it's quite a process.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 30, what is it now? 32 years old, that building.
Yeah, it's been around.
Jeez.
89, 30. Wow.
So
It's crazy.
One of the things we talked about actually at the end of the show, George and I and Derek happened to be chatting about the George was telling us that he had some kind of a possible presence in his in his
electronic ballroom.
So but that led into Derek and I talking about some ghost stories and stuff like that. So we thought we'd dedicate this show to the paranormal and some cool stories and around that, because I guess we all have something. And then Heiko, of course, you were saying that more recently in the hospital you might have had some kind of experience. So I guess why don't we start with you, Heik? Because yours is the fresh
most recent
one.
Yeah.
And
well, it was kind of weird at first, because I'm on the heavy pain medication, so the nurses would come in every 2 to 3 hours, and they'd wake me up for me to take my pills, right?
Okay.
So, some of them would just call my name, some of them would shake my leg or something like that, whatever they had to wake me up. So,
which leg? Sorry,
most of my left leg.
Did they grab you by the knee?
I think some tried.
Yeah.
Behind
the weenie?
Yeah. Nice. I knew we'd go there. But I was just laying there and my eyes were closed. I was just kind of like in my dopey sense of pain or whatever. And I thought a nurse had come in and touched my leg. So I opened my eyes and there was nobody there.
Right.
But I could still feel the touch on my leg. Like just for an instant, it kind of creeped me out. Like I was ready to like jump, but
was it a game of chicken or goat, right?
No,
Okay.
it felt very calm.
Wow.
And like caring. And it was just like somebody had taken their hand and just laid it on my leg, count to 2 and take it off.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
And that happened to me a few times while I was in the hospital there. I had my shoulder was touched and my arm and my leg a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you were in rough shape, so you know that. So who do you think it might be, or was it just some rando?
Well, a lot of people die in hospitals, right? So that's what I thought of at first is maybe just some people that passed on, maybe some nurses or whatever, because it did feel genuine, like calming, like a touch.
Right.
It wasn't scary or abrasive in any way. It was actually very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow.
So and then it was
And
funny.
you felt
We
it
thought,
multiple times.
yes. Yeah.
Like different days and everything.
Yep. Different days, different parts of my body.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
Yeah. At first,
Have you
were kind
ever
of
hurt
talking
yourself
me.
like that before? Like not
No,
as bad,
never.
but like broken big bones
No.
and stuff?
Never broken a bone in my body my whole life. Like nothing.
Well, good start.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it's like a mending, because I know like I've broken several bones, and sometimes it mends and it feels weird, right? But it's hard to explain. You can move it and it doesn't move. If that makes sense.
I've had some funny tinglings too, and I kind of thought that was, but the sensation I got was actually like a hand went down flat on my skin. Yeah.
Wow.
And it wasn't fingertips. It
I
was
touched
like a
myself
hand.
when you said that. Just
Yeah. Did it feel good?
Yeah, it was calming.
Yeah, there you go. You sick bastard.
I didn't touch myself like that. You're the one who's sick. I touched my leg.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, we talked to
No,
might have
awesome.
been my mom or a nurse or something, or just
letting you know
whatever,
it's okay.
Yeah, it was actually really good, really good. And we even think, I don't know how this would be true or not, but my injury, I landed on my shoulder pretty much. Like I shattered
smack your head.
I shattered my scapula, and then I busted 9 ribs, and I had some fractures in my spine as well. But my head did not touch the ground.
Yeah,
and how is that even possible?
Yeah, somebody was cradling
you. You follow a whole story, and your head doesn't touch the ground.
Yep,
that's bizarre. So some people believe it, some don't. But we kind of made a comment about it and said, well, maybe your mom had your head as you were falling. You didn't hit the ground.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Nobody knows, cool. And that's the thing that's the best and worst about it.
Yeah.
Because there is so many things that happen like that, like car accidents or whatever, right? And people are cradled. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I like that word, cradled. Yeah. I never thought of that, but that's exactly what it seems like, eh?
Yeah. 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 You're protected. They're like a mom in a car accident, she always puts her hand out, blocks the kid.
Yep.
Yeah, you're being safe. That's awesome.
So that's my latest experience, and I thought it was pretty cool.
I think that's great.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, you've done this kind of stuff before too, Johnny. So have you've heard of stuff like that? People being touched?
Yeah, I'll talk about how I've been touched.
Maybe we don't want to know. The public doesn't want to know that.
I just want to know, can I get touched like that too? Touched by an angel.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go now.
Touched by the voice of an angel.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah. I ain't sleeping over at your place.
No.
Hey, Derek, those aren't pillows. Yeah.
What am I
Um,
gonna bite?
Yeah, I've got a ton of them, and I'm actually just trying to get one of my old computer hard drives up and running so I can pull off the photos from some of the when I was doing the ghost hunting.
Yeah,
So I'd like
that would
to.
be cool.
Some of them, like a lot of them, in fact, have never been seen publicly, and yeah, I think we could do a reveal on here some night. Maybe get Deanna or somebody to come on and.
Yep.
You know, she's the neon dreamer, and we
Uh-huh.
could talk about some great photos and critique them.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll get to mine. But last week, George kind of prompted, like while we were talking. It's sometimes hard to get George interested in anything but his album collection.
I've got one.
So he actually.
It's funny you should mention that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the trivia, and then we can.
I read your mind. It's a coincidence. I just happen to have one.
Wow, right there.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the experience. It's right here. It's right here, more or less.
Yeah.
More or less.
Oh yeah. By the way, I read my mind. Yeah, I was just sat at the bar, right? Got at the bar there, and I was watching something on the TV monitor there.
Right.
And it was only a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and it was May. I remember that because I wrote it down when it happened, and it was like, because I've got like picture frames with like concert tickets in them.
Right.
So
Right.
so there was, you know, I saw a reflection. I'm looking, and there's a reflection behind me. And it's a person walking sort of in the middle of the floor, walked past me and into the bookshelves I have there. And it was like,
oh wow.
And it was like somebody was there, you know, it's just a physical presence as opposed to just, you turn around and go, oh, you know, it's just a reflection of something off the TV or something.
Right.
But it was this figure, and I'm assuming it's a woman, and she was like dressed like a bride, you know, with the veil and this long dress, but it wasn't white, it was grey.
Okay.
No way.
Looking. Yeah. And I thought that was just, it's one of those that was just weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
And the follow on from that was I never connected the two at first, but a few weeks after that, I remember I was in the bathroom and the washroom there, and I was combing my hair or something in the mirror. I've got a little glass tumbling off when you rinse your mouth or when you brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And this little glass, I was nowhere near it whatsoever. And it just started going like that of its own volition on the sink top. You know,
wow.
I'm looking at it, and then it did it for about 3 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now where we are, we get these blasts, you know, because there's a cement factory down the road, and they blast at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, like a couple of days a week. You know, and the whole house shakes. You know, everything shake. But it wasn't 2 o'clock. It was like, you know, like much earlier than that. It was like, you know, before midday.
Yeah.
And I remember getting the glass, and I tried to do it myself to get it. You know, I'd sort of tip it and see if I could make it just jiggle a couple of times.
Right.
Wouldn't do it. Could not get it to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. And the other thing I remember that I didn't mention last week, and I've forgotten because we thought about it since, I've had times when I've come down here and I can smell perfume, a real perfume.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it a
And
familiar
does that perfume yeah, does
like
that remind you of anybody?
Not at all, no. Not that I'm aware of, no.
It's just a woman's perfume smell.
Yeah, just this scent, you know, and you smell it. And the most recent thing that happened, and this is only about 4 or 5 weeks ago, you know, a couple of months ago or whatever, and I'm sat where I am here now, just looking that way, looking at my my monitor.
Yeah.
And like I remember like Liz comes down sometimes, and I jump, blah blah blah. But I said, like, make a noise when you come in, because like, I'm like concentrating. When somebody walks in the room,
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm here and I'm doing something on the keyboard, and this hand touched my right shoulder, and I went, "Oh, I told you not to do that." And I turn around, there's no one there. Nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way. I thought, Liz couldn't have come in, done that, and got out of the room fast enough. He couldn't do it.
Right.
But this hand went on my right shoulder. Someone's hand.
Somebody said you're doing a good job.
Well, I don't know. They said your time is up, Sonny. I don't know. I don't know what that. But that was about. I'd say within the last 2 months that happened to me. When I'm sat here, right here.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So and now it's like, when you start putting them together, you go, this is getting freaky.
Maybe you got a portal or something.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this music that I play late at night or something. I don't know.
Well, you never know, right?
Yeah, and these flashing beacons,
Yeah, you're hailing them.
Yeah. But I've had a couple of others.
George, so they all seem to be like focused around the atomic ballroom, right? So,
there's 3 in here, and one like in the washroom next door. Yeah.
Well, after COVID, we'll have to dive into that a little more.
Set up
some equipment. Yeah, there we go.
It's definitely not anything that's harmful, but
I don't feel it like threatened or anything or intimidated. It just happened.
I've never seen any orbs while I'm watching you.
Right.
Well, I see lots of them in the room right now. Look at them all.
What orbs? It's a blank wall behind you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Derek, tell us your story, and I'm going to listen in, but I'm going to hop into the green room. We're getting some feedback that there's a number of people on that are trying to somehow comment, and we're not seeing the comments for some reason. So
I see that. Nothing, eh?
No. I'm going to check out why that's happening. So, So, Derek, tell us one or more of your stories.
All right. I'll tell you the first story I ever remember. I was living in Bolton at the time. I would have been young, 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
And I remember lying in bed, and it was like my door opened. My door was always closed. And I saw what I thought was a shadow person. I had no idea what it was then, but now I know it as a shadow person. But it was just as you would see like an alien or a green or a gray, right? It was that shape, the big head, long arms and stuff. No color, like it was black. It was just a shadow. Right. And I went to yell for my mom. I remember, my dad, whatever. And I couldn't. And then I tried to move and I couldn't. It was like sleep paralysis. I couldn't move. And I just remember it looking over me, leaning over, and then disappeared. It's gone.
Wow.
Never had it happen again. But then I don't know, later on, I guess when I got into my teens, before I started getting partying too much, I remember this girl talking about, if you say apples every night before you go to bed, you will dream of apples. So I tried it for like 6 months, and I ended up doing what I find out now is astral planing or
projecting.
Astral projecting, yes. Yeah. Going out of my body, and I could see stuff as a kid, and then I started getting into partying and stuff, and it never happened again. So maybe we're gonna try that later on sometime.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's pretty wild.
Yeah,
it is. I listened to that podcast you said about the shadow people, because I've had that experience as well a long time ago, and it was with it was 1977. It was March 77. I still lived in England in our first house we ever had, and I was going to bed at night, and I switched off the TV, whatever, and looked around the room before I switched the light off, make sure everything else was off. And just before I flicked the light off, in the corner of the, not in the corner of the room, but we had a window with long, like green curtains. There was a man stood there. And I had a picture of him, but I described him as the Sandyman man. And he was like the best I can describe. Actually, I've got the thing here. Just grab it.
You're looking good though, Hike. You're looking better than last week.
Thanks.
It looked like that. I don't know. I'm trying to get these angles right.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like that. See that?
Yeah. Yep.
But you couldn't see a face or anything like that. But that's why I described him
just-
as that, because this is a drink. This is a port drink. And he's on the labels and everything. And it was there briefly. And again, it wasn't like it looked like a shadow. It like felt like a solid being, a presence, you know, physical being for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like thinking, crikey, and then, you know, you look and he's gone. And he said, did I imagine that? You know, did I imagine that? And we had a dog at the time, and I thought, and he slept in the kitchen. So I went to the kitchen, he's just snoring away. So I thought, you know, it's nothing. It wasn't, because they're more sensitive to that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So anyway, the next day, I was still thinking about that. And like I was, you know, one of the guys I was working with, I said, got into conversation, and he said, like, last night, and I said, oh yeah, I told him that story.
Hang on a second. I figured out what happened. Facebook
You did?
blocked our video. So there you go. More censorship bullshit.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you guys a new session. We're going to reopen a session. So if you're listening out there, because there's been a lot of listeners that haven't been able to post, so I've been getting texts and stuff like that. So if you're listening out there, we'll repost a new live session, and we'll come right back. So give us a few minutes, and I'm just gonna repost it and put it up spot on our page, and you can find it. We can get back to it, and I'll argue with Facebook over this silliness. So
yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay. See you in a few minutes.
See you shortly.
Hang on, everybody. We'll be right